Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen the quick overview of Hiddle App. So in this video onwards, we are going to start the development of the Hiddle App. So I've already started my Android Studio. First thing what I have to do is I have to create a new project. So click on this, and after that what we have to do is we have to select the empty activity. Click on next, and here you have to give your application a name. Whatever name you want, you can put it. For me, I'm going to put Hiddle Video. After this, I have selected this API 27. If you want to give the basic or the minimum requirement support to 10 or any other, then you can select that specifically. Okay, and the programming language which I am using is Java. After this, just click on finish and it will create a new project. After this, whenever you finish it, before that, make sure your system is connected with good internet speed. Okay, so that it download all the packages or the jars which are removed. Here you can see this, we have to wait unless until this Riddle build is finished. Okay, so it's important doing a lot of stuff in the backend. Okay, here you can see this, now it started downloading some of the libraries as well. So now it's done. It may take longer in your system, depends on your system configurations. Okay, next thing what we have to do is we have to expand this one and we have to go into this Riddle. In the below section, in the dependencies, we have to add some of the dependencies. So I have already copied all of the dependencies which are required. So let me just copy these all stuff and move back over here, make some space and paste it. Okay, so we already have this app compact, materials and layout. So let me just remove it. If you want to use the latest one, then you can use that. Now save it. And here we have an option to sync now. So click on this, it will sync. We have used this room runtime and room compiler because we are going to use the room DB, that is the local DB for this one, and biometrics. As in the quick overview, you have seen that we have password related security we can enable and disable. If we have fingerprint enabled, then we can also use a fingerprint. So if you want to use the latest version of this, then what you have to do is you have to just search for this one, room runtime. So if I go over here and search for room runtime, you will get this one first link. If I click on this, it will open like this one. Here you can see this, we have these two, and in the place of these room version, you have to use this one. Now the latest version is 2.5.2, but still I'm using the older one because by using the same I have developed this application. In the same way, if you want to use this biometrics, so you have to search like this one, move back over here, search for it, go to this one, and here we have the latest one. If you want to use this, you can use this. Okay, now let's move back to our application. Now sync is done and everything is in place. Next thing what we have to do is we have to move into this one, not this one. Let me just scroll up, and here we have this minimum SDK. We have selected this 27, compiler SDK is 32, and make sure this namespace is unique. It means that that namespace should not be available on the Play Store if you are going to put this application in your Play Store. Okay, so whenever you create, at that time you have to give it a name. Okay, like this. Next thing what we have to do is we have to go to the colors. So if I go over here to the resources, insert the resources and the value, we have colors. Here I'm going to add two colors. Let me just quickly add that. Color name is equal to primary, and for this one will be hash 2196F3. Next color which I'm going to add is color name is equal to secondary, and now let me enter the color code hash 027BB1. Like this. Now we have these two different colors which are required. Okay, so let me just close this. After this, what we have to do is we have to go into the themes, double click on the themes. Over here, just from the day-night, what we have to do is we have to use the light. And from the dark action mode, we have to use no action bar. And inside this one, we have to use the color primary. And to this one, we have to use the color secondary. Now save it. Now we have all of these in place. Next thing, what we have to do is, here, there is no dark theme support. It will always be light. So that's why I have did these changes. If you want to handle with the dark mode as well as the light mode, so you have to hold it accordingly. Okay. Now, if I move back over here to this one, that is the theme production. There are two. One is for night and one is for day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use in this one also, I'm going to use the light one and with no action bar. Okay. After this, save it. And inside this one, again, I'm going to use the primary one. And for this one, I'm going to use a secondary. Now, everything else, color primary, we need to change this one to white. And this is still 200. This one is 700. This one is black. Yeah, everything is in place. If I move back over here to this one, it is white. And 200, 700 and black. All of these needs to be same in the second one also, except apart from these three. Okay. Now just save it. Now what we have to do is we have to move back over here into the resources and we have to create one folder that is for menu. Let me just open the application and you must have observed that in the Hiddle. Okay. We have one menu. This one. So what we are going to do is we are going to design this interface, okay, this Hiddle and the background, and we are going to design the 4 different fragments and that will be connected to these buttons. Okay, that's what we are going to design in this video. Okay, so let's start with that. So we are going to create one menu with these different icons. So before we do that, what we are going to do is I'm going to just put some drawings into this one. So I'm just going to copy all the drawings from my previous project and just move back over here and paste it into this one, into this drawable V24, and just click on OK, click on OK. Okay, I'm going to provide all of these drawables, whichever is required in the project, in the description of this video. Don't worry about that. After this, if you want to learn how to create one, so I'm going to show you how to create one. Okay, so if I move back over here, we have this IC home, where it is. Yeah, here we have IC home, right? So how to create this one? So for that, right click on this, click on new, select vector asset, click on this one and search whatever you want to create. So I'm going to search for home. It is basically loading icons for now. So I have used these. So click on OK. For now, this one will be test underscore IC underscore base underscore line, so that we can delete it. Now you have to click on next and you have to simply click on finish. Here you can see this test IC base line home. So this one is created. This is how you can create one vector asset. Okay. So let me just minimize it. And now we have all the things in place so we can use it directly. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create one menu. So right click on this, click on new, and we have to create one menu over here. Right click on this, new Android resource file. Inside this one we have to select the menu, and inside this one we have to give it a name. So I'm going to give it a nav underscore items and click on OK, and this will create one menu resource file inside this menu folder. Okay, as I double click on this one, split it and just go to code. Over here what we have to do is we have to add the items. So I'm going to add one item, and for this one I'm going to give it an ID. So that is ID nav underscore home. I'm going to give it an icon. We have already added from the drawable, so drawable, and I'm going to give it IC home. Right. Search for that. This one. After this, we are going to give it a title. So title will be home. Let's see in the split. Here you can see that this is a. So don't worry, it will not be shown like this. This will be at the below. We will do that. Don't worry about that. So next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these and I'm going to paste these 4 times because we need 4 different. Okay. Inside this one, I'm going to, second one is nav underscore message. And inside this one, I'm going to use this message. I see message, and inside this one, the title needs to be changed. It will be messages. Save it. Third one is not nav home. This is nav underscore change key. And over here, I'm going to use this tools. Here you can see this in the parallel. You can observe that the icons is also being changed. Over here, we have next thing is nav about us. I see about us. Okay, we forgot to change the name over here. That is the title. So it is tools. And then this one, we are going to change it to about us. Save it. If we go to split, here you can see this. We have these 3 or 4 for these 4 stuff over here. Now the task for this navigation is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create 4 different fragments. So just move back over here, right click on this, click on new and select one folder. Simply create one package over here. Package, and I'm going to give it a name that is fragments because it's going to contain all my fragments. Move over here, right click on this, new fragments, blank fragment. Okay, what we have to do is we have to create 4 different fragments. Let's start doing that. So this will be about us fragment. Okay, we have to create 3 more. So go to fragments, click on this one blank, and now I'm going to create one fragment. After this, we have to create one more. This is message. After this, we are going to create one more fragment, and this is secret key change. Click on this, and here we have created 4 different fragments. After this, we have to move to the main activity, and inside this one we are going to perform some of the operation like connecting those to the bottom navigation view. Okay, so here we will make some space, and here we will create one bottom navigation view. I'm going to give it a name, bottom navigation view, and I'm going to create one related layout. After this, what I'm going to do is just make some space over here. We will find by ID bottom navigation view is equal to find view by ID r.id.pn view. Okay, so it's not showing because we haven't created designed the layout into the main. Okay, so let's move back over to the layout, and here we have to go to the activity main. Inside this one, just go to the code section, and we don't need this one, that is the hello world. If I go to split section, here you can see this is the hello world. Whenever we create one application, it just simply shows that. So inside this one, first thing what we have to do is just change this constraint layout to relative layout. Okay, after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one ID for this one. So ID, and ID will be layout main, and I'm going to give it a visibility on, and this will be match parent and match parent. That's already in place. Next thing what we have to do is we have to add one text view, and for this one the width will be match parent and height will be 80 dp. Change or add as per your requirement. Okay, now move from the top. So for this one, I'm going to set one the background, that is tribal /wave2. As you have seen in the quick overview, we have one tribal. so it's not reflecting in the real time, so not to worry about that. We'll see it quickly. Okay, after this I'm going to add an ID for this one. So ID will be title_view. After this, height and width is in place. Next thing what we have to do is we have to put the text alignment to center. Layout underscore center horizontal is equal to true. After this, we are going to put one text, that is Hiddle text style is bold. After this, we have text color, that will be hash 5 times 6 times F, that is white. After this, I'm going to put one text size, that will be 35 sp. You can increase or decrease as per your requirement. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one frame layout, and height and width will be match parent and match parent. Inside this one, this layout will be below which one? That is title view. It will be below this one. So let's close this. After this, I'm going to give it an ID. ID will be container. Okay. After this, I'm going to give it some margin bottom. Margin bottom. Inside this one, we have to put like this: attire / accent bar size, like this one. After this, we have to put bottom navigation view. Okay, we have added bottom navigation view. Inside this one, the width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. And I'm going to give it an ID. So ID will be PN view. Okay, this will be align parent bottom is equal to true. It means that it will be aligned to the bottom of the screen. After this, I'm going to set the background for this one, that is hash D3. And menu, we are going to set the menu to this one. So Android menu @nav items, which we have created. Now save it. Now go to split. Okay, it's still not visible. No issue. After this, here you can see this, the issue over here, this BTN view is right. Now move back to our this main activity, and here we will continue further. Okay, so now we are going to put this relative layout is equal to find view by ID r.id.layout main. We have relative layout dot set visibility view dot visible. After this, what we are going to do is we are going to create one bottom navigation view dot set on navigation item select listener, which we are going to use. New bottom navigation, this one we are going to use. Okay, on navigation item select, inside this one, what we are going to do is, let me just make some space. It's showing deprecated. We can use a new one, but for now, let's continue with this one only. Okay. So over here on navigation item select, whenever that one is selected, what we have to do is we have to use the switch, and inside this one we have to pass item dot get item ID case r.id.nav underscore. In that case, what we have to do is we have to load the fragment. So load, we have to create one class GMENT. Inside this one, new home fragment, and inside this one we have to pass the false, and we have to return true, like this one. Let's quickly create one method. So hover over this, create method load fragment, the main activity. So let's write this method quickly. Okay, so this one we have fragment. Okay, so this is home fragment. So let me just remove this. This is fragment. Okay, and this boolean b is not, just change the key over here. After this, what we have to do is we have to create an object of fragment manager. Fragment manager is equal to get support fragment manager. After this, we have to create one object of fragment transaction. So create that fragment transaction. Fragment transaction is equal to fragment manager dot begin transaction. If flag we just remove this e flag, right? So flag fragment transaction dot add r dot id dot container dot fragment. Else what we have to do is fragment transaction dot replace r dot id dot container comma fragment. So if nothing is loaded, then load that one, else you replace and put it the new one. Okay, so fragment transaction dot commit. Now here you can see this, the error over here is gone. Next thing, we have to do the same for the remaining cases, right? So let's do that. Case r.id.nav message load fragment. Inside this one, we have to pass new message fragment comma false. Return true. We have case r.id.nav underscore about us. Inside this one, we have to call this load fragment. Inside this one, we have to pass new about us fragment, and we have to pass false to this one, and simply return true. After this, we have last one, that is case r.id.nav change key. So this one, load fragment new secret change, and we have to pass this false. And by default, if anything else apart, okay, so here we have to return true as well. By default, we have to print it toast. So toast dot make text. Inside this one, we have to use this main activity dot this, and for the testing purpose, default clicked, and for this one, toast length will be toast dot length short dot show. If anything goes wrong, this will be executed. And finally, we have this return false. And after this, what we have to do is we have to simply write bottom navigation dot set selected item ID r.id.home. Why we did this? Because whenever nothing is there, it means that for the first time an application opens, I want this home to be selected by default. Okay. Now let's start and test our application. So I have started the application. Let me just open this. Okay, so Hiddle build is running. It will install and execute it automatically. So we have to wait for a couple of minutes. So here you can see this. Now this one is loaded. If I click on this, this one is changing. But as you cannot observe the change over here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move back over here, and this is a home fragment. So click on this, split. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put over here that home and in the message I'm going to go to code. So this one I'm going to put message. In the about us, go to code, and let's read this one, about us, and we have one secret change or tools, we can say, right? So I'm going to put tools over here. Now save it and now re-execute it. Here you can see that this is home. If I click on this, this is message now. If I click on again, it will be tools. If I click on this, about us, it means that different fragments is being loaded. And by default, if I open my application, if I move back over here, we have created Hiddle. This one is not ours. This one is ours, right? So we have, by default, whenever the application is open, its home is by default selected. If you don't want that, it means that nothing needs to be selected. In that case, just comment this line and now restart our application. Okay, reinstall. So here you can see this, nothing is selected. Even home is also not visible. So if I click on this, now the home fragment is loaded. If I click on this, now message is loaded. Okay, you can do as per you need. So let me just uncomment this one for now. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Next video, we're going to start the development with the one of these. Okay, so just like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Just follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching.